Okay, today's I can statement is I can divide a whole number by a unit fraction. A unit fraction is a fraction with a numerator of 1. For example, 1/4, 1/2, 1/3. So today we're going to start division of fractions. Let's read our first problem. Jenny buys 2 pounds of pecans. Let's box that in because that's what she's starting with. If Jenny puts 2 pounds in each bag, how many bags can she make? So she's splitting it into bags that have 2 pounds in each bag. So our division sentence is going to be what she's starting with, dividing by how many pounds she's going to put in each bag, and 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. Let's review checking this. All right? When we check a division sentence, we need to take our answer, multiply it by our divisor, and we should get our dividend, which is the very first number, and we do. Fantastic. Let's read our next problem. Jenny buys 2 pounds of pecans. So I'm going to unbox in 2 pounds, that's what she's starting with. She puts 1 pound in each bag, so that's the size of each bag. We're trying to figure out how many bags she's able to make. So our division sentence is going to be the 2 that we started with divided by the number of pounds in each bag, and 2 divided by 1 is equal to 2. All right. Let's check it. Our answer, 2, times our divisor, 1, should equal our dividend, which is 2. Fantastic. All right, I want you to read the next problem, box in and underline what you think is important while I erase and scroll up. All right, this time she's still starting with 2 pounds. She is going to put them into bags that are 1/2 of a pound each, and we're still trying to figure out how many bags she can make. So our division sentence is going to be 2 divided by 1/2. Here's where our fraction comes in. All right, so let's draw a tape diagram to model this. That's why I left you some space. Start off with your whole tape diagram. Put the number you're starting with on top. Okay, this tape diagram is going to look a little bit different than previous. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is split our tape diagram up into the number of pieces of our whole. So I'm going to split this in half just because this would be 1 pound and this would be 1 pound. I'm going to label underneath 0, 1, and 2. So I'm trying to figure out how many halves there are in 2 wholes. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break each one of these wholes up into half. This is where our fraction comes in. There's 1/2, and there's 1/2. Okay? So we're trying to figure out how many halves are in 2 wholes. So let's count. There is 1, 2, 3, 4. So Jenny can actually make 4 bags. Let's check this. Our answer times our divisor, this is a whole number times a fraction, so if you remember, you're going to take your whole number, multiply it by your numerator, and it goes over your denominator. 4/2 is an improper fraction. 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. There's our dividend. So Jenny can actually make 4 bags. Each bag is going to hold 1/2 of a pound. So the question you need to ask yourself for these whole number divided by fraction problems is how many of the fraction fit into the whole number. So I'm going to record the 3 problems that we've done over here. 2 divided by 2 was equal to 1. 2 divided by 1 is equal to 2. And now we have 2 divided by 1/2, and that's actually equal to 4. Okay? Notice, pay attention to any patterns that you can see. Let's look at the next question. And if I'm going too fast, at any point, whoever's running the computer, you can just pause it. All right, so the next question says Jenny is buying 2 pounds of pecans, and this time she's splitting it into bags that are going to hold 1/3 of a pound. So our division sentence is going to be what she's starting with, divided by the size of each bag, and we're trying to figure out this answer. Hopefully some of you think you may know. If you think you may know, write it down and let's check. Let's draw our tape diagram. All right, she's starting with 2 holes. So the first thing, remember, we're going to split it into the number of sections of our whole number. So I'm just going to cut this in half here and label. This would be like 0 pounds. From here to here would be 1 pound. From here to here would be 2 pounds. The previous problem, we separated it into halves. Now we need to separate this into thirds because I'm asking myself how many thirds are there in 2 holes. So let's do that. Thirds means I'm going to need to draw 2 of my lines. Let's count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are actually 6 sections, so there's 6 1/3 pieces in 2 holes. So she can actually make 6 bags. How many of you guys got that correct? All right, let's check it. Answer times divisor equals 6 times 1 is 6 over 3, which equals 2. Check. Got it. All right, I want you to read problem E on the back, and you can start it while I erase and scroll up. All right, this time she's still starting with 2 pounds, so box it in. This time she's separating it into bags that are going to hold 1/4 of a pound. So I'm trying to figure out how many 1/4 are in the whole number 2. So our division sentence is going to be what she's starting with divided by the 1/4. If you think you know the answer, I almost gave it to you. Write it down. Let's draw our tape diagram. All right, here we go. Starting at the top, she's starting with 2 pounds. Okay? And once again, if you need to pause it, pause it. So I'm going to break this into 2 sections simply because she's starting with 2 pounds. And I'm going to label down here 0, 1, 2. So from here to here, that represents 1 pound. From here to here, that represents 2 pounds. So now I need to break this up into 1/4 pieces. So let's start with our in between 0 and 1 hole and break it into fourths. The easiest way I found is to break it into half, and then break each half into half. And then you'll have 4 sections. And do the same thing on this piece. And we're trying to figure out how many fourths there are in 2 pounds. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 fourths in 1 hole. 5, 6, 7, 8. The answer is 8 bags. She could make 8 bags that will each hold 1/4 of a pound. Let's check it just to make sure that we're correct here. So let's check it. Take our answer, multiply it by 1/4. You end up with 8/4, which simplified is equal to 2. And there's our dividend. Good. All right, I'm going to erase. We're actually skipping problem 2, so you can cross it off. And I want you to go all the way down to problem 3 while I scroll up and erase. All right, problem 3 says Tina wants to cut 1/4 foot lengths from a board that is 5 feet long. Be careful because I flipped the numbers around for this problem. So what she's starting with is actually 5 feet, and she's breaking it into sections that are 1/4. So our division problem is going to be equal to 5 divided by 1/4. If you think you know what the answer is, go ahead and write it. And then let's draw our tape diagram to check it. I'm going to draw it up here just because there's a little bit more room. So I'm going to make it a little bit longer because this time I'm starting with 5. So put your hole on top. We're going to start off with breaking it into 5 pieces. So you're going to need to draw 4 lines. Let's number them. This would be like 0 feet. From here to here is 1 foot, 2 feet, 3, 4, 5. So there's my 5 feet, and I want to break it into pieces that are 1/4 of a foot long. So I need to break each one of these sections into fourths. You go ahead and do it too. And let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There are going to be 20 boards that are each 1/4 long. So when I first started this, I looked to see how many fourths are in one hole, and I know that 4 fourths are in one hole. So in 5 holes, 4 times 5, that'll be 20. So our answer is she can cut 20 boards. Let's go record our problems over here. We started with 2. We divided by 1/3. We got 6. For problem E, we did 2 divided by 1/4, and our answer was 8. And now we're starting with 5, dividing it by 1/4, and our answer is 20. Does anybody see any patterns? Does anybody see any patterns? That's the question I'm going to ask when I return. All right, so now you are going to go to your checklist. The first thing that everybody's going to start with is Zern. While you're working on Zern, you're going to be called back to do some of the problem set. When you're finished with those 2 things, you can do the exit ticket, which is on the table up front, and turn it into the bin, the mint green bin up front. The next thing is your 4C activity, which remember is independent. It's the tic-tac-toe board. A lot of you have already started it, and it's either turned in already or it is in your homework folder. And if you need a copy, it's on the front table. Good luck, and I will see you in a little bit.